The crowd at Wimbledon's Court 3 had barely caught their breath. The final point had just been played, and Alex Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina, who had just dismantled Maya Joint with a devastating 6-0 bagel in the final set, collapsed into her chair, her face buried in a towel. The world expected tears of joy. Instead, when she finally lifted her head, her eyes carried something far heavier than triumph. They carried the weight of a journey no one fully understood. The tennis world had watched her make history, becoming the first player from the Philippines to reach the third round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. They had cheered as she avenged her heartbreaking Eastbourne final loss. They had marveled at her composure. But what Alex Eala revealed in her post-match press conference left everyone speechless. A bombshell that shattered every assumption about this young champion. She finally broke her silence, and the tennis world simply didn't see this coming. 4 months. The tennis world has watched Alex Eala rise with an almost supernatural grace. She defeated Iga Swiatek at the Miami Open. She took down world number 2 Elena Rybakina in Berlin. She reached the third round of Wimbledon and etched her name in the history books. But behind every victorious smile and every triumphant fist pump, there was a story no one knew. When Eala finally sat down with reporters after her historic Wimbledon victory, she didn't just talk about the win. She opened up about the grueling reality of life on the WTA Tour, a life that demands sacrifice most people cannot fathom. Traveling for tournaments has taught me to be independent and adaptable, she revealed. The hardest part is being away from family for long periods. As the Philippines' biggest sporting icon since Manny Pacquiao, Eala carries an entire nation's hopes on her shoulders. But in that moment of raw honesty, she let the world see the human being behind the champion, a young woman who misses her family, who craves Filipino comfort food like adobo, and who finds solace in the simple routines of home while navigating the relentless grind of professional tennis. But the true bombshell came when Eala was asked about her opponent, Maya Joint, the woman who had broken her heart just 1 year ago at the Eastbourne final. Eala's voice, usually steady and composed, trembled slightly as she recalled the defeat. It hit me quite hard. I cried a lot, and I don't think I was able to watch those highlights for a couple of months. The confession sent shockwaves through the press room. Here was a player who had just delivered a masterclass of resilience, and yet she was admitting that the wound from that loss was still fresh. Joint had saved 4 championship points against Eala in Eastbourne, snatching victory in a dramatic deciding set tiebreak. It was a defeat that could have broken a lesser player. But Eala turned that pain into fuel. I think I've improved a lot in this past year, she said, her voice firming with conviction. And I'm happy that I'm able to look back on that match now and smile. The tennis world expected a story about revenge. What they got was a story about redemption, about a young woman who refused to let heartbreak define her. In breaking her silence about the defeat she had buried deep within, Eala revealed the steel that lies beneath her gentle demeanor. As Eala spoke, reporters noticed something they had seen before but never fully understood. Her Nike visor etched with a Tagalog phrase that translates to "Every dream begins as a seed. Once it grows, it cannot be stopped." Her hair tie bore a sampaguita, the Philippine jasmine, a tribute to her roots. In her emotional press conference, Eala finally explained why she carries her culture so visibly on the world's biggest stage. I think it's so sentimental to be able to wear things or to carry parts of my culture with me on court, she said, because of course it's a huge reason as to who I am. The Philippines, a nation of over 115 million people, has found a new hero in Eala. But as she revealed in her interview, the weight of representing her country is both a blessing and a burden. It's an amazing thing for me to be able to do that for my country, she admitted. But it's also very emotional every time I'm able to pass a new step or break new ground, just because it's also personal goals and personal achievements. The tennis world saw a champion. But in breaking her silence, Eala showed them a young woman carrying the hopes of an archipelago on her shoulders, determined to make her people proud, but the most unexpected bombshell came when Eala revealed her extra motivation for the match, one that had nothing to do with revenge, ranking points, or history. In a moment that melted hearts across the globe, Eala looked toward her coach in the stands and smiled. "Today, before I forget, is my coach's birthday, guys," she announced to the crowd. "So, let's say I have extra motivation to win, for sure." The revelation was a stark reminder that beneath the intense competition and the high-stakes drama, Alex Eala is a daughter, a teammate, and a young woman who finds joy in celebrating the people who believe in her. Her coach's birthday became the driving force behind one of the most dominant performances of her career. "My team over there has been working extremely hard," she said. "I really feel like it's paying off. These wins mean a lot." In a world where athletes are often defined by their statistics and their trophies, Eala's confession was a powerful reminder that sometimes, the deepest motivation comes from the simplest places: love, gratitude, and the desire to make the people who support you proud. As Eala's press conference came to a close, one final bombshell shook the room. The journalist asked the question everyone was thinking: "How do you feel about facing Iga Swiatek next?" Eala's response was measured, humble, but laced with a quiet confidence that sent a shiver through the tennis world. "I think it's going to be tough for me. I'm going to try to make it tough for her, as well." The head-to-head between Eala and Swiatek is tied at 1-1. Eala stunned the Polish star at the Miami Open, and Swiatek exacted her revenge in Madrid. Now, on the grass of Wimbledon, they meet again. "I'm expecting a great challenge," Eala said. "But I think I'm ready for it." In breaking her silence, Eala didn't just reveal the pain of her past or the weight of her present. She revealed the unwavering belief that has carried her this far, a belief that no obstacle is too great, no opponent too formidable. The tennis world didn't see this coming. They didn't see the depth of her resilience, the strength of her spirit, or the power of her quiet determination. But now that Alex Eala has finally broken her silence, one thing is clear: this is only the beginning. The bombshell has been dropped. And the world is watching.